So this is my personal experience using Retatrutide. I'm going to start by saying I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical advisor, nothing like that. This is just my personal experience with it, and I want to share this with you guys in hopes that, you know, if you are on the fence or you are considering using this peptide, that it sort of helps you make an informed decision. I'm already assuming you know what it is given you've clicked on this video, and for those of you watching this that don't know what it is, essentially it is a peptide that targets three different things, three different pathways in your body. The first thing it does is it slows your gastric emptying down, so when you eat, it helps the food sit in your stomach for longer, leaving you feeling full for a longer period of time. Therefore, you end up eating less throughout the day. The second thing, it sort of just helps your body use food and energy more efficiently. And the third thing it does is makes your body use your fat as energy more efficiently. Okay. Now, when it comes to dosing, everyone responds differently to it. I am like a hyper responder to this. So 1 mg for me was more than enough to rattle me for the whole week. Whereas someone else that was taking from the same batch, from the same manufacturer, same everything, they were doing 2.5 mg straight off the bat each week, and that wasn't even affecting them as much as it was 1 mg was affecting me. So straight off the bat, what I will say, everyone does respond differently to it. So if you are considering, if you are going to start, I would definitely start on the lower end of the spectrum and see how you respond before you go and do like a 2 mg plus dose. Because if you are a hyper responder to it, 2 mg dose will really suck. Okay, so straight off the bat, I noticed my appetite being suppressed. It's sort of like that feeling when you have a big feed and then you go lay down for a power nap and you wake up and the food's just sitting up here and you just feel like, well, okay. That's the sort of feeling that it leaves you. And I noticed that straight off the bat. So the day after I took the first dose, that's exactly what I noticed. And so straight away, I wasn't even able to eat all my meals that I usually eat because I was just feeling so full throughout the day. This is probably the biggest effect that you're gonna get from it. The second thing I noticed straight away was my sleep quality went downhill. Now, a lot of people report to be sleeping better on it, but I sure as fuck didn't get that, unfortunately. So for the whole time of running it, I definitely noticed a decrease in sleep quality. So I was sleeping a lot lighter and waking up a lot more frequently throughout the night. And the other thing as well, I was just struggling to fall asleep. So, which really sucked because if I don't get enough sleep, I'm pretty feral the next day. So that probably added to me feeling, a bit tired and fatigued especially towards the end of the 6th week. That's the other thing that I'll bring up now is as time went on, I was definitely feeling more and more tired physically. So it was a weird sort of feeling. Towards the end of the 6 weeks, I was definitely noticing that waking up in the mornings was a lot harder. Getting up out of bed was becoming a lot harder. And but once you're up, once you're moving around, you sort of made things work. So did it take away my energy from the gym? It was weird because you're eating a lot less due to the appetite suppressing effect that it gives you. You expect to go to the gym and have a really shit workout with low energy because you haven't eaten anything that day. But once you get there, once you start pushing the weights around, you actually find energy. So it's really weird. It's a strange effect. Did it take away my energy and my workout intensity? No, not really, to be honest. The only thing it did sort of do was slow down my recovery. So I realized that my recovery was not as good as it would usually be. And that's just expected, I think, because you're not eating as much and it's just sort of what's going to happen in that scenario. But as long as you continue training and you keep stimulating your muscles to grow through your training, you are definitely going to preserve a lot of muscle, even if you are in a huge caloric deficit. So fantastic. Runny nose, I copped a runny nose from it. So the whole time that I was on it, I had a runny nose. I was constantly doing this, had the drips. I got a red nose, my nose got irritated. So I had a red nose practically the whole time, which was another annoying little effect from it. Reflux, so again, as more time went on, the worse it got, but I was just getting like reflux, a lot of acid reflux after eating a meal. So there are things that you can take, which I didn't, but there are a few little home remedies that you can do to sort of reverse this effect. I think it's like apple cider vinegar and I don't know, whatever it is, but acid reflux is definitely something. But the biggest thing, the biggest effect, aside from the appetite suppressing effect, is that it really got rid of food cravings. So if you're someone that really struggles with, food cravings, shit foods, ice cream, snacks, desserts, all that sort of stuff, raiding a pantry. So I've done multiple cuts where I've, cut fat, bulked up, all this sort of stuff. And, as the deeper you go into a cut, the more the food noise, the louder the food noise becomes. The easier, the more often you find yourself staring at the pantry or snacking a bit more often. So this really just completely eliminates that. You're not thinking about food, you're not thinking about snacking, you're not thinking about anything. So for someone that really struggles with that, this is something that is really going to help you in those situations. Now, it also removes, so for example, okay, we all know social media. There's always half-naked chicks flying around on there. And as a male, you might see that and it might trigger you a bit. I'm sure a female as well, whatever. And so, it might trigger you. You might get a bit horny or something. For me, okay, it completely just eliminated that urge, that sexual desire. So some people might not like that. In fact, I just lost all sexual desire. Libido really was a noticeable decrease in libido. And as I said, some people might not actually like this effect. I personally liked it. It helped me just lock in and concentrate on things that I needed to concentrate, and I felt less distracted. So yeah, this is definitely an effect, and I think they're actually linking, people with addictions like alcohol, drug addictions, and using GLP-1 medications to stop them from, from those irrational and from those urges. So amazing effect. I think that was a really cool effect from it. So yeah, if it is something that you struggle with, food cravings and all that sort of stuff, I can guarantee that it will get rid of that, okay? Lastly, the other effect was that it was giving me like a lot of tension, like stress tension on my neck. So I'd go to lay down at night or in the mornings and I just felt so much pressure and tension in my upper shoulders and neck, where I'd have to actually go run a hot shower and just sort of stretch and relax a little bit. I'm not sure what that was about, but it was really annoying. That was probably one of the worst effects from it. So yeah, that was getting a bit too much towards the end. But look, all in all, it's not a feel-good peptide. It's not something you take and it gives you a good sense of well-being and your feet hit the floor in the morning and you feel amazing. It's definitely not fucking like that. In fact, a lot of the effects are negative, nausea and all these things. But if you are someone that has been struggling with weight loss, with food cravings, with all the stuff, this is really, really, really going to help you step away from all that and lose the weight, okay? Was it refreshing every day looking in the mirror and seeing a noticeable difference in my body composition? Absolutely. And so is it worth it in the end? Yeah, I would definitely say, especially again for someone who is overweight, who is in an unhealthy territory of body fat percentage, if you need to take something like Retatrutide to drastically drop that weight, okay, especially if you've tried doing it naturally and you just can't hack it, if it means, by all means, if you need to take something like Retatrutide to get yourself to a healthy body fat percentage, then do it. Like this is my opinion, okay? Because sitting in an unhealthy, being a fat person, okay, and having all this excess fat on you, visceral fat and sub-Q fat, it's not good. It's not good for your health. It's really not good. And I can really, which I'm going to touch on in another video. But again, if it means taking something that's going to help you really get to a healthy body fat percentage, whether you run it for 1, 2, 3 months, get there and then maintain your body composition from there moving forward, I don't see anything wrong with that. I really don't. So yeah, this was my review, Retatrutide. Again, did I feel good on it? No. Were the effects really shitty, especially towards the end as time went on? Absolutely. Did I get results? Was I shocked with the speed of results and the fat loss and the muscle retention as well? Yeah, definitely. So my results, okay? As I mentioned earlier, I ran it for 6 weeks. I was dosing 1 mg per week, so 1,000 micrograms per week. I lost a total over 6 weeks. I lost a total of 7 kilos. Most of that, I'd say 5 or 6 of those kilos were body fat, visceral and subcutaneous fat. And the rest of it was some water weight and a tiny bit of lean muscle mass. I think you're always going to lose a little bit of lean mass when you're cutting. But because of the Retatrutide's third pathway that it targets, okay, which helps your body use, your fat as energy over anything else, I can definitely back the fact that you can aggressively cut on this stuff and it targets more so your fat than anything else. Because if someone that was at my body fat percentage was to cut as aggressively as I did, I can guarantee, because I have done this in the past, you will lose a lot more muscle mass, okay? But given that I was supplementing the Retatrutide, it definitely preserved my lean muscle mass during the process. So that's everything. That's everything for this video on Retatrutide, my experience, my thoughts, and everything else. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've got any questions or if you've run Retatrutide and you want to share your experience, throw a comment in there. And yeah, if you like this sort of content, please subscribe, stay tuned, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.